Well, great segue then. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
I've legitimately actually almost been kidnapped like 3 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But one of them, I was walking home from school, and I don't know, I would just kind of always watch, especially like the vans, like to see if they were watching me. Like as I was walking from school, I would like see what kind of cars were watching and stuff. And there was this van, and he was just staring at me. Like I don't even know how he was driving straight because he was staring at me so much. And so I kept crossing the center divider that the cars couldn't cross, and he kept U-turning to go on the
What?
same side. Yeah, it happened like 3 times, and thankfully it was like, or twice, because it was like a really, really long center divider. At like the third one, I was like, okay, this is it. Like I'm not hallucinating. I'm not making it up. I'm not being paranoid. He is following me. And so I pretended like I was going to go right down the street so that he would turn. And
Mhm.
when he turned, I ran all the way across the street, and I was just running full speed like up the street where my friend lived on, and it sucked because I lived on the next street over. And all I wanted to do was get home. And so I jumped down into this ditch in between the houses, and I was just laying there so that he couldn't see me. And then I like peeked my head up at one point because I felt like I was safe, but I saw the back of his van going up the street. And so I was like, okay, I'll probably be fine to run home right now since he's headed that way. And I just left all my stuff there, and I ran home, and I was like, Mom! And then I don't even think she was home yet. Or I don't know.
Super
The
scary.
fuck?
I would have shit myself.
Yeah, I would have peed.
I got kidnapped as a kid.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
But it like
who?
it wasn't scary. I need to put my
What do you mean you got kidnapped and it
I got
wasn't
kidnapped as a
scary?
kid.
Confused.
It's funny because I just told the story on stream literally 2 days ago. So as a kid, I was in it was like either first grade or kindergarten. I don't remember. But it was after school, and me and my sister would always meet at a specific slide, and then we'd walk home. And I lived in kind of a shitty area. But we'd walk home like 6 blocks. And so it was like kind of a long walk, but she had like a lot of friends because she was older. So I'd have to stand out there for like 15 minutes alone before she would come and find me. She was in like 4th grade and I was in 1st grade, I think. So I'm hanging out and this lady comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, it's Katie's birthday."
Closer.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Katie's
The
oh
wire's
my God.
too fragile.
Oh, Jesus
And the
Christ.
thing keeps moving too much. It's actually pissing me
Katie
off.
was a girl in my class and they're like, it's Katie's birthday today. Come to the party. Like, aren't you coming to the birthday party?" And I was like, I love birthday parties. Like, I would assume like if an adult is telling me I'm supposed to go to this birthday party, I'll go to the birthday party. And that her house, I know, it's so stupid. Her house was right across the street from the school. And so she was just like, "Okay, let's go," you know. So we go across the street. It's all decorated for a birthday party, but there's nobody else there, including Katie, her daughter. So nobody is there. She takes me upstairs to a room and puts me in that room and gives me a cupcake. And I didn't eat the cupcake, but I remember holding the cupcake for like multiple hours. And I was like, "Oh, I have to call my mom." But I was in kindergarten and I like didn't know how to spell my own last name. And so she gives me a phone book and a phone that is not plugged in to anything. And so I just flipped through the phone book for like 6 to 8 hours and just like am playing on the phone. And like, I'm just like, and she just leaves me locked in that room. And then like the police come in and get me and I go outside and my parents are crying. And I was like, "What happened?"
What?
Yeah. So yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, so
That's so fucking crazy.
do they
I was
know
on
how
the-
the police knew where you were? Do you know that?
Yeah, because my family was like walking around and like people we at our church were all walking around like saying, you know, "Have you seen anybody? Like, have you seen her? Have you seen her?" There's like a bunch of flyers with my face on them. Like there was an Amber Alert for me.
shit.
So, yeah. And so one of the boys that my brother actually played basketball with was sitting outside and he was like, I think I saw her go in this house." Like, and then so the police knocked and then the lady was like super suspicious. And so then they went upstairs and found me.
Did they know why
Wow.
she wanted to kidnap you?
Yeah, because she was schizophrenic and had her daughter taken away from her by the state. And so I kind of looked
Judy
like her
was about to
daughter.
be
So
her
she
new
wanted
daughter.
me as her new daughter.
That's really
What
sad.
the fuck?
Yeah, it's super
fuck?
sad. But yeah, it was crazy.
Wait, so how long were you with her? Like
Only for like 6-ish hours. 6 to 8. I don't really remember.
Damn.
It was
Damn.
light when I went inside and it was dark when I came outside.
It was probably really hard to tell how long you've been there at that age
Yeah.
too, because you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you can give me a phone book and I could entertain myself for hours in a phone book. So yeah, we just hung out a little bit, had our own little party. I think about all the time if like maybe the cupcake was laced with something, but I didn't
that's
eat
what
the
I was
cupcake.
thinking.
Yeah. I just like didn't eat it. I just didn't feel like a cupcake, I guess.
Nothing scary happened when I was a kid. I interned somewhere in college, and it was me and 2 other female interns, and my boss told us that we were gonna go meet her uncle at his ranch, like down the road. So we like got in the back of a truck and then went to his ranch, and we went to this giant warehouse. And her uncle was there, and he was like super creepy. Like off the bat, I was like, I don't like this guy. Like he was whatever weird. And so we went to the warehouse, and they took us upstairs in the warehouse, and now it's just like my boss, who was a woman, and her uncle, and 1 other male employee. And there was a giant plexiglass stage with a stripper pole upstairs in the warehouse.
Oh my god.
And there were stairs like underneath the plexiglass stage. So when you walked up the stairs, like if you looked up and there were people on the pole, like, you know, like that's the point of it being plexiglass. Like I guess people would hang out under there because they had parties and whatever. And then her uncle was like trying to get me and the other 2 interns who were my age, so we were like 20, to do stripper lessons. He was like, I'll give you pole lessons, like it'll be really fun, like you can keep your clothes on, I just want to give you lessons, it'll be really funny. And I was just like,
that'd be really funny.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
That's
think it'll
so
be funny, like it's okay. My boss, the female, got on the stripper pole and was doing it, and she's like, it's fun, guys, like don't worry about it, like it'll be fun, it's like not weird. And it was like super uncomfortable. So we were all kind of looking at each other. One of them was stupid. One of the other interns was just like, she didn't think that there was anything wrong with what was going on, but she was just a ditz. And then the other one, we would just like look at each other and we were like, do we like leave? Do we try to walk back to the facility? Like, do we take their car? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And then they mentioned there was a trap door. Like, so it was a big like a huge warehouse, and you went upstairs and the stripper pole's upstairs, and then there's a trap door behind the bar. Like, literally there's a bar and you go back like you're bartending and there's a door like in the ground. And it used to be a sex dungeon, apparently. Like, they would have parties there, and then people would go down there, and there was like equipment down there, like swings, like a sex swing and shit. And my boss was like, you want to go see it? It's pretty cool. And I was like, no, I don't.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then
Latin,
we left.
thank you for the 2 months.
Nothing happened.
That's
But
I'd be so uncomfortable the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
it was a lot. And we also had bathing suits on under because he has a lake, and so we were gonna like go swimming at the lake, and they like wanted us to like take our clothes off and just like chill, and they wanted us to drink and whatever, and I was just like, I don't know, it could have been really bad, but it wasn't. We just left.
what kind of job was this? Like, how did this even occur?
It was just like a college internship at a ranch.
Oh.
Those ranch people.
Yeah.
Ranch folks.
The thing that scarred me the most throughout my life is I was stuck in an elevator when I was
Living
like
with-
5, and then that made me really scared of flying and like anything. I'm super claustrophobic because of it. I hate when other people are in control of me. It was me and my friend. We were stuck in an elevator for like 5 or 6 hours. It was just us 2 and our bikes, and we didn't have phones at the time because I'm a fossil. Like, that's why I have to go full alcoholic when I'm on a plane. For anyone that was here earlier, when I try to explain why I need to be drunk on a plane, because
I thought it was because you just wanted to be drunk. Like,
no,
I thought it was
No, I
just
get
an
really-
alcoholic.
yeah.
No. I need to drink when I fly, just because of that, because the elevator thing.
I can't believe you got kidnapped. I'm so,
Yeah, I can't believe you got
I'm like
kidnapped.
so stuck on it.
Dude, QT's life is a movie.
It
like her high
is.
school shit
Yeah,
and
mhm.
her getting kidnapped. You should
And
write a
Murder.
what's it called? A biography? What's it called for if we're
Mm-hmm.
Autobiography?
I call it a teen drama, honestly. It'd be like very entertaining. Well, I almost got kidnapped again like 3 years ago. Like, as an adult. I almost got kidnapped into sex trafficking.
How?
You would think that this is like weird, but apparently it was like super common. And this is so stupid. When I tell this
sex
story,
trafficking in general is a lot more common than
yeah, I didn't think it
is.
was.
It is.
But I was. This is a crazy story. But and when I tell it, you guys are gonna be like, "You're such an idiot." But I just didn't realize. So I'm sitting at work, and I get this phone call on my cell phone, and I don't answer it. It was just like a random number, and then I get a phone call to my work, and they're like, "Hey Blair, the phone's for you." And I was like, "Okay." So then I answer the phone, and because I was like, I wasn't expecting any appointments, so I was just like, that's kind of random because people don't usually. They would talk to my assistant, they wouldn't talk to me. So it was like directly to me, and I was just kind of like, okay. So I pick up the phone.
Yeah,
and
Blair's her real name.
This is so dumb. They said to me, they were like, "Hey,
Pog, hello, chat,
you
how
are
you all doing?"
Oh, I hate even saying it out loud because I can't believe I fell for it. They're like, "You're so behind in taxes that we're sending an agent out to you now. Like you're gonna get arrested right now unless you come down to the federal courthouse and pay your taxes." And so in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I have to go to the federal courthouse, right?" Like they're not asking for my like card number. They're not like, if they would have asked for my card number, I would have been like, duh, this is a scam. But they're like, "You need to go to the federal courthouse," and they like give me the address, and it is in fact like the federal courthouse in our state. And I was just like, what the fuck, you know? And so they're like, and they start giving me all this information that they know about me. Like they say my family's information. Yeah, they're like, "We're just confirming like blah, 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 blah. Like, da-da-da." They're like, "We are going to call you on your cell phone. And if you hang up, we will have someone on you within seconds." And I was like, okay.
What?
The fuck? I know. So they call me on my cell phone, and they tell me the address that I'm currently at. And I'm like, yep. And then I go and I get in my car. I start driving. I like want to call my boyfriend at the time to like be like, "What the fuck?" But I can't because I can't get off the phone with them. And so I'm like trying to text him and drive. Sorry, chat. I was gonna go to jail. To just like, so I'm like texting him while trying to drive, while trying to go to this place that I haven't driven to before, like blah, blah, blah. And so then as I'm driving, I take a wrong turn, and on the phone with me, they're like, "You need to stop right now." And I was like, "What?" They're like, you're not driving to the courthouse. You just went a different direction." And I was like, "What?" They're like, "We have eyes on you. We have 2 cars following you. You're going down the wrong street. You absolutely need to turn around or we will get out and arrest you." And I was like, okay. I'm sorry. Like I was just like overwhelmed. I took the wrong turn. Like, fuck, I'm so sorry. Like, holy shit. And so I'm like, okay. I start driving, and they're still like confirming stuff about me, like where I currently live, like where I went to school, like my like everything. They have everything.
Wow.
So I'm driving. They're like giving me instructions of where to park. They're like, "Oh, go just park at the federal courthouse, like in the underground parking. Tell the
what is
like
your live feed?
you
I don't know.
Don't pay for your pass right now. You'll pay when you leave." Like telling me all this information. I'm like, okay. And so I'm like trying to figure out where the underground parking is, but at the same time, I'm just like so panicked. And then the call drops. And so I'm like, well, whatever. I just need to get in there, right? Like I just need to get in there and pay. So I hurry and just like park on the street because there was an empty parking spot. I run into the federal courthouse, and I'm just like panicked. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm trying to call the number back, and it just like was going to a deadline. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but there's people, and because the federal courthouse has the metal detectors and like guards everywhere, right? They have like SWAT team everywhere. And so I go through the metal detector, and I'm just like hyperventilating and like crying, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm supposed to be in, they're gonna arrest me. Like, and he was like, "I need you to come with me right now." Like the head police guy, he pulls me into a room with 3 other police guys. All of these like SWAT members come out of the building. They do a whole sweep of the entire building, like the underground parking, outside. Like I was there for like 4 hours while they were doing this sweep. And they were like, "That's sex trafficking. They're luring people into the underground parking. They have you park next to them, and then they grab you and put you in their van and drive away."
Oh, what the fuck?
And it's a federal building because like you have no clue, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They don't have better like security cams and stuff in their parking lots. Like
they do, but not every, like there's blind spots, and they like scope those. They like know those blind spots.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
really clever, though. That whole.
It was so
scheme.
scary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would have fell for that shit
crazy.
too.
I would have
would've fell for
too.
that.
I would have too.
It's like I wouldn't have if they didn't have like they literally had my location, and like it was just like so scary, and you're in the moment, you can't call anybody, like no one can talk you out of it, right? Like and so it's just like it was so scary. And even then, like I remember I turned my phone off for like a month. I was like, I don't like, because they were like clearly like hacked in my phone in some way, like tracking my movement or something.
Yeah.
So like I turned my phone off for a month. I just felt like I was being watched. Like I stayed at my brother's house because I was just like, I don't know where these people are. The worst thing was like, I remember I like called my boyfriend after and I was like crying, and he was like, I can't believe you fell for that, was his first reaction. And I was like,
I think
Are
I
you
just
kidding
slapped
me?
him right in his
I was
face. Are you
so
kidding?
mad. Oh my god. It was
I bet they don't have more information on you than what your Twitch viewers does. The overlay
that's
attachment.
true, actually.